Hello my loves, thank you for joining me on another YouTube video. I'm currently in a Tesco's car park. Just went inside and had a coffee and it was so good just to be alone and to sort my finances out. I've been so tired recently. So tired. Getting back from Rome was so refreshing, but I've had quite a few days of just being by myself and just chilling and just absorbing everything that I've had to take in from being away and coming back to normal life. And it's a lot to be able to come to terms with how my life is here compared to how my life is when I travel, and trying to find the excitement again of when I am back in the UK and things just get really stressful and the reality of life hits you again compared to when you're obviously on holiday. But yeah, it's all okay. I'm so tired. My nails are awful. But I'm very blessed. Very blessed. So today I just wanted to talk about my experience with hypnotherapy and detachment, and I've been doing so much research on attachment and detachment, the theory of it and why your brain does what it does. And I went to hypnotherapy and it was incredible to be able to experience hypno. It was I can't really explain it. I did do a podcast on it and the podcast was incredible because I really went into detail about what I learned and what I took from hypnotherapy. What I had taken was such a big improvement. It has been a big improvement to my life already. And I'm going back on I believe it's the 6th of June. And I'm just really excited to learn more and to be under hypnotherapy. It isn't how everyone imagines, and my hypnotherapist man said that when you see it on TV and stuff, and it sounds really sad if you genuinely believe this, because I'm gonna completely burst bubble, but hypnotherapy is not when you're asleep. You are truthfully aware of everything, and a lot of the people in the crowd, they are already hunted out, and the hypnotherapist man or woman knows who to choose from. And the best people who go under hypnotherapy, the best are people who sleepwalk. So I'll ask people before the show even starts, do you sleepwalk? Do you believe in hypnotherapy? And the people who do and who do believe in it and have different beliefs and stuff, they bring them onto the show because they know they're going to get a better outtake with them. And obviously all these TV shows and everything are all about views, so they've got to make sure that they get the best ones. And the hypnotherapy guy basically said, if I ask you a question or anyone a question about something that I don't agree with, so if they turn around, they go, oh, so your past, tell me a bit about your past, and I'm I don't want to talk about my past, or I don't want to talk about that subject, then my brain will instantly I will come out of hypnotherapy and it will be obviously a lot harder for me to get back in. You're not asleep, you're fully aware. He's he grabbed my hand, he touched it, he knew what, I knew what he was doing, and I could hear him, I could hear everything he was doing. If he was to have said something inappropriate to me or tried to change my mindset of my belief, or do I like ham on pizza, and he tried to get me to not like ham on pizza, for example, really stupid example, but my brain would be instantly, no, he can't change my beliefs. That's it. That's the most important thing about hypnotherapy. You can't change your beliefs, but you have a subconscious mind and a subconscious and conscious mind. So imagine that these two are your brains, but they're obviously together like this. So you have two doors. So here is your conscious brain, and this is everything you learn when you're from 5 onwards to now, and that's your adult brain. Then your subconscious, I believe it's that way, and then your subconscious, imagine there's a man or a woman here, and they're the doorman, women, whoever they is here, and they only let things come through if they want it to. So these are this is say for example, you turn around, you showed me a orange magnet and you go, this is orange, no, this is blue, and I knew it was orange, that man in the middle would be like, okay, let me just check the files from what I've learned when I was in the womb to 5 years old. At this brain, this part of your brain is the most important, significant part, because I believe it's either 60 or 70% of everything you learn in your life is this, and that's from when you're in the womb to 5 years old. It is from that age is the most important time of your life, because that is the most you'll ever absorb, and everything that you learn in that time is going to take you to your conscious adult brain. So if you learn nothing but trauma and pain and suffering and just everything really negative here, then that will continuously like bash into your adult brain, which makes people so anxious and get depression and have these bad negative thoughts. And it's really hard because you have to program this brain to get to here, but this brain is just imagination. So when you're a child, and I have been working with children for 2+ years and absolutely love it, and obviously learned so much with it, and I have a qualification in it. So when I tell you I know obviously a lot about this brain, I do, because obviously I had to study it with the imagination. And even Albert Einstein said like the imagination is such an important thing for children, because it's such an important thing for us. So children learn that, I don't know, Father Christmas is real, or like they have an imagination of how Santa gets through from the chimney and they shrink, and all the fairies when the tooth fairy comes. And this brain is so important to keep your imagination, that eventually your imagination gets burst because a family member or a friend or whatever tells you that Santa isn't real, and then that reprograms this brain into your adult brain. And it's so important to get into your imagination, and that is exactly what hypnotherapy does. Hypnotherapy gets into this brain, which counselling cannot. Counselling only gets into your adult brain, and your adult brain basically is everything you learn from the age of 5 to now. So everything you learn, you can't change, which you can at the same time, but everything you learn here is more harder to get into, which you need hypnotherapy, because hypnotherapy doesn't just get into this brain, it gets into the younger version of you. Very confusing, but counselling only gets into your conscious brain, and everything you know now, subconscious brain, is hypnotherapy. So when I was obviously doing it, he had to get past this man, woman, they on the door, who, whatever you want to call it, this thing here. My hypnotherapist had to get past that and go into my child brain again. So my adult brain was being really stubborn, and I even said to him, man, I could feel myself trying to not trust you, in a way of being like, don't get into my child brain. Like, that man on the door was like, no, like, you're not getting past this. And then he made me feel really kind of understanding of why it was important, and he tried to get me to imagine things. And because he tried to get me to use my imagination, the man let him in. The person on my brain let me in. So then he was able to have an impact on my child brain. And by doing this, he told me to imagine things like, imagine there's 2 mirrors, one on the right, one on the left. Imagine if the one on the right was you when you're really timid and you're really shy and you have no self-respect for yourself as such. And I just pictured this really tiny child like of me when I was in high school and I was being bullied, and the person that, like, the people that cheated on me and hurt me, whether that's friends, family, relationships, just everything like that, all my betrayal, just this little timid girl I saw in that right mirror. And then he told me to think of this powerful, beautiful person in the other mirror, and it was obviously me standing there really strong, really proud, traveling, having a future, children, happiness, just really strong. And I look at that person and I'm like, that is literally my higher self. And it's so important that I get to that. It's really hot in this car, but I don't want to open the window. It's really important that I get to that. So he then, as I said, you can feel you can hear everything. He then told me he's going to touch my arm. So he said, consent. Like, do you give consent? And I was like, yes. So he touched my hand like this, and he held it up like this. And he said, right, you've now got, I'm going to put a hammer in your hand. And obviously my child brain was instantly thinking of a hammer. So I used my imagination. I acted like I had a hammer in my hand. And my adult brain was kind of stopping me because of the embarrassment. But my child brain was like, yes, I need to do it. So I held the hammer in my hand and he said, smash the right or the left mirror. The one that you choose to keep, you won't smash. The one that you want gone forever, you'll smash. So I started smashing the timid young person who was on the right side of me. And then he told me to imagine somewhere that I feel safe and comfortable with and something that makes me really happy. Imagine a place that I can go to and keep it in my brain. So he counted from 1 to 3. And when he hit 3, I had to imagine something, but like it just comes so naturally. I'd never seen this place that I don't think I've ever seen this place. And I created this beautiful, beautiful place. And he told me to get into all my senses, my imagination. That really helps with my child brain, my subconscious brain that he obviously tapped into. After I started imagining all this, it was beautiful, because then he said, put that warrior person that you created, the person that you are meant to be, the person you know your higher self is and that you should be and that you're gonna be, into this thing. So put that mirror there. But instead of putting that mirror there, I put the mirror there, but I had the person step out. So every single time I now go to that part of my brain, I open the door, and I practice this every night now, and I have another one Tuesday. So I now open the door, and the person who opens the door, like who actually allows me to step in, is my higher self. So on days when I don't feel like I'm worthy of being there, my higher self opens the door. Like if I knock or if I try and open it, it'll always be my higher self on the door reminding me that that is where I'm meant to be. And it's so beautiful, because I know I'm talking about hypnotherapy, but this is so beautiful with attachment, because I've now realised that the reason why I choose certain things or certain people or certain just anything is because of my younger brain. So say for example, you're in a really toxic relationship, people will go, why are you in that toxic relationship? Why are you doing it to your, I've got the hiccups now. Why are you doing it to yourself? Like just go, just leave. And then you're kind of like, your adult brain knows and tells you that, but you still do it because your child brain is very much like, I deserve to see if this person can change. Like, I'm a loving person, I want to give my love to someone, I want to try and change that person. And it's really sad because your child brain craves that thing and they'll do everything in their power to try and get it, and your adult brain knows, because your adult brain has experienced so much more than your child brain, but you've learned 70% of everything you'll learn in your life is 70% here, or 60, I believe it's 70, and then your adult brain can only learn 30 or 40% for the rest of your life. It's insane. But you've got to understand that your child brain just wants to see the change and the beauty of everything, and it tries to give so many more chances to people that they shouldn't. And that can even be like cake. If you really crave cake, or you crave when you have an addiction to something, addiction is all really subconscious and it's inside your brain. That's why most people go to hypnotherapy and they realize that they can stop smoking or they can change their diets, and counseling doesn't really help with that. And I completely understand if you're a counselor or if you've had hypnotherapy and that might not have worked for you, but for me it is already working so fantastically. And I have another 3 more sessions, which I'm so excited about. But if you really go for that cake like me, you won't realize this, or you might not realize this, but the cake situation could be, you used to celebrate with cake every single time that you'd have a birthday. And when you're young, from the age of like 0 to 5, you'd have cake potentially at birthday parties and celebrate, or like party food and comfort food that 90% of people probably enjoy, because they've had great experiences from it. So the adult brain's like, no, like you don't need to have this really bad food, like it's really processed, like it's really bad for you. And then you're like, but my child brain, like it wants it, because you might not even realize, but your subconscious, not your conscious, your subconscious wants you to have it, because back then it felt so good. It felt so good to have it, and it's constantly trying to fight for them good things. This could be everything. This could be being with a partner that you don't want to be with because you know it's bad, but you're still there because maybe you've had really toxic past growing up. Maybe you've had issues with your family being around, or you don't have family, or there was arguments, or just anything at all. Everything you do in your adult life was from when you were in the womb to 5 years old. Everything that you do is such an example of that. I need to open a window so bad. It is so hot in here. I'm getting so passionate with this topic as well. So just remember that if you know, if your brain is literally telling you to not do something, remember that if you still continue to do it, that's 9 times out of 10 your child brain wanting to gain something from that situation to make it feel exempt and feel better about itself, or because it knows that it had an excitement out of it, or because it had a rush, or just any reason. Maybe that it's your child brain trying to get you to feel better about a situation that maybe you didn't in the past, and you wanted to try and test it out again to see how it would feel. So there you go. I am going to go on that note. I'm going to go drive now. Also have 1,000 keys, which I keep getting told off about with my mum, because she says I'm going to break my car having that many keys, but it's okay. So I'm going to go. But I will speak to you all next week on my next video. Yeah, thank you for joining me. I really, really hope this helped. Please share the video. Please like, please comment if any of it helped, if any of it made sense. I really, really, really just want to help you all try and understand why the brain is so, so, so important. I recently got a new book as well, and it's about the Mind Manual. So it's a mental fitness tools for everyone, and I'm going to start reading it. It's by Dr. Alex George. I'm going to start reading it. Let's see how it goes. So hopefully I can get some things out of that, and I can obviously share it with you lot as well, because I love knowledge, I love learning. It's just so exciting. But yeah, I will speak to you all soon.